Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mias and welcome to the OCG Metagame Breakdown number 0. So this is actually going to be the first one of the format for the OCG. Remember that their ban list didn't actually impact that much, honestly. Like, they limited VFD. What is it gonna change? People can still make VFD. It actually kind of still had an impact, and we're going to actually see if Virtual World is still the best deck. But before we do that, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. You already know the drill. And now let's actually get right into it. So it's actually 101 top performing decks from 19 tournaments that were held during March 17th to March 31st. This is a lot. This is a lot of data, so it's actually going to be pretty accurate, but this is actually only in Japan and mainland China. And we actually saw that there was kind of like a clash between, I guess, certain deck building trends in Japan and certain in China. For example, like Macrocosmos in the pure Zoodiac deck was a main deck 3 of in literally everyone who was playing pure Zoodiac in China, but in Japan, nobody played it at all. So it's just really weird. And also, one of the countries played Drytron as the top tier deck, whereas the other one, Drytron, was unplayable and nowhere to be seen. I like these trends a lot, and yeah, let's get right into it. So, yeah, you already see it. The pizza, the pie chart, the pie graph. Tri-Brigade is the best deck. Now, in the TCG, we also have a top-performing Tri-Brigade deck, and that is Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk. However, it is not seeing this amount of representation, and it's obviously not getting first place. And the thing with Tri-Brigade is that, yeah, sure, it's a bunch of different other decks, but even, like, the thing is, standalone, they're not that great. It's only the fact that there are so many different variations of the deck that allows them to, I feel like kind of have, like, 14 representations. Like, even Eldlich, they have a lot of different variations, but now they actually dropped 9, which is kind of interesting because they keep dodging ban lists left and right. This deck is insane. It's literally the new... Okay, yeah, I was gonna say the new Burning Abyss. It's basically a zombie deck. It'll just never die. You kill them and they still revive back from their graves. So yeah, Eldlich, never gonna die. Really, really great investment. I feel like the most accurate trend with Konami and just investing and stuff like that is that control decks have a tendency to stay alive in the game for longer, and you lose less money by investing your money in a control deck. Even though it might look like you might be spending a lot initially, you're getting your money back in a way because you can play it for so many events, so many formats, whereas combo decks, if the deck is way too good, then Konami hits it with one card, and all of a sudden, even though the deck might actually still be playable, it'll just, a lot of people might lose interest and they won't play the deck anymore, but yeah. Anyways, Zoodiac with 12 representations, not bad. Very, very close to Tri-Brigade, and that is pure Zoodiac. So no Zoodiac Eldlich, none of that. Zoodiac Eldlich only one? What? In the TCG, Zoodiac Eldlich is surpassing pure Zoodiac, so that's actually really shocking. Virtual World, finally no longer the best deck. Oh my god. It's actually crazy how just losing a single VFD, a card in the extra deck, not even in the main deck, randomly made Virtual World go from by far the best deck to a 4th deck. Yeah. And then we've got Zephyra. What the heck? Randomly this good? Okay, that's kind of terrifying. Yeah, it was always a respectable deck, but 7 Zephyras? What does the deck actually do in the OCG? I know there's Dangalong, but yeah, it looks kind of scary. They look like they have way more cards than we do, so that could be really nice. And then Prank Kids, again, I keep repeating that Prank Kids is probably the worst version of Zoodiac. They are very similar, but at the same time, kind of different. Thunder Dragon, yeah, I mean, this... 3 Chaos, okay, wow. And then 2 regular, and then 1 Chaos Invoked. Interesting, I haven't seen someone play Invoked with Thunder Dragon cards in a while. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty on and off, back and forth, whatever. It's not great, but I think it has a pretty respectable matchup against Tri-Brigade. They do search a lot, and Lyrilusk as well. Just a lot of search cards in the deck. Against Zoodiacs, it's garbage. Yeah. What is Colossus going to do against Zeus? And the only card that searches is literally tanky. The Zoodiac deck, as a matter of fact, can play Mistake. So, yeah, you're not going to make Colossus pass against Zoodiac. And I feel like playing Thunder Dragon in a format where Zoodiac is that good, no thank you. Same thing with, like, Eldlich. It's such a joke, man. The Eldlich, the Golden Lord effect, already outs it. And the only search card is the semi-limited Cursed Eldland. What are you really going to achieve? I would stay far away from this, honestly. Endymion is is just not consistently good either. I do agree that the Pendulum decks are much better in the OCG, but I don't know. Alright, for Phantom Knights, this is also very nice. I don't really know what to say about this deck though, because it is also kind of like the inferior combo deck, because it gets countered easily. Well, easier, not necessarily easily. It has some pretty fragile line of plays, some choke points that it can't really play through efficiently. And without Dragoon, if you get Nibiru'd, you're not doing jack shit. Like, you're getting Nibiru'd and you're passing turn. The best you can do is have a bunch of Flog Blades, but it's very hard to have Appaloosa and the full combo. Like, we're not talking about 2-card combos at this point, and if they are 2-card combos, they're like extremely specific 2-card combos that would lose to other form of hand traps. So, yeah, Phantom Knights is not the kind of deck that has the stamina to actually last for like a huge event. So I would also, unfortunately, stay away from the deck, even though I personally love it, and I think it has great potential. I'm not saying that the deck is bad overall, because the deck is very good, and you should not sleep on it, but currently it's not great. Anyways, Shaddoll, 2 of them are Lawn Mowing Invoked Shaddoll, the other one is regular Invoked Shaddoll, so 40 cards, and then, whoa, okay, well, 3 out of the 4 are Lawn Mowing. Okay, Lawn Mowing Dragma Shaddoll. Wow, that's interesting, because the card's only a 2 of, it's semi-limited. Obviously in the TCG it's banned. Obviously. It did nothing wrong, man. It did nothing wrong whatsoever. Konami! So yeah. What do I think of Shaddoll? I think it's a great deck. In the TCG, it's obviously doing much better. It's the kind of deck that personally I would be playing, and especially at the very beginning of a format, people are never really just decisive on their, deck that they're going to play. So they always play like Shaddoll strategies, invoked strategies, dinosaurs, and then when someone breaks the format, everybody just copies him, and they kind of just build their decks from there. But it's always like they play their own decks, it's always the same thing at the very beginning of everything. Even this, I feel like it's going to change a lot. It's not an inaccurate representation of what people are going to be playing, but it's definitely going to change. Like, I don't think Tri-Brigade is going to solidify itself as the first deck. I think Zoodiac and Eldlich, the decks are just... they're just there to stay. I'm sorry, but they're always going to be top 3 or top 5 at least. But I can't see them ever going to like here. That would just be impossible, inconceivable. So yeah. Anyways, Code Talker, we actually saw this deck doing way better before, so I'm actually kind of shocked to see it down to 3, but, it's not that bad. Dragon Maid also, I'm kind of disappointed in a way. I just feel like Dragon Maid has the potential to be so good with the amount of hand traps and, like, easy 1-card plays. Well, not 1-card plays, honestly. It plays with 2 cards. It doesn't really do anything with 1 card. It does something with 1 card over time, but single-handedly with 1 card to make interruptions, completely impossible. So, yeah. Anyways, Brandish, again, they have Engage. We don't. So, yeah, Brandish in the TCG, definitely not as good as in the OCG. Even though we have 3 Kagari, it doesn't mean anything. Engage is just necessary. Then they have Spiral, obviously, that is basically at full power. 2 Adamantipator. Do they have Block Dragon? I'm pretty sure. So, kind of shocked to see this only at 2, but remember that they do have Maxi, so if your deck can actually not care about Maxi, you're always going to have a pretty good advantage, and this is one of the main reasons why Eldlich is that good. Like, what are you going to Maxi? You can argue that, Scarlet Conquistador combo makes you at least draw 2 cards on your own turn, so maxing on that is pretty nice, but yeah. We also have Orchist, again, basically at full power. Plunder Patrol at 2? Whoa, okay, alright, that's pretty impressive. Alright, I'll take that. And then a Burning Abyss, a Cyber Dragon in the OCG, nah. And also, they can't even play Cyber Dragon Fear, that's so pathetic. Alright, Danger, Dark World, Evil Swarm, Salamangreat, nah. Second Danger, Kaiju Luna, and the biggest disappointment of the Millennium is Ignister, randomly at 1. Like, the deck was actually up there for a while, and then randomly 1 behind Code Talker. Where is Code Talker? There. Code Talker, I don't know, maybe maybe it is the best Cybers deck. I think it is because Salamangreat, no, sorry, not Salamangreat Heat Soul, Decode Talker Heat Soul. It's the combination of Decode Talker and Salamangreat Heat Leo, so definitely a great deck. But anyways, now let's get into the deck list and the explanation. So, is your typical Tri-Brigade deck, but the thing is, it's actually playing some Zoodiac cards in it, but a very, very small package. So only one of each of the Zoodiac monsters, so that's definitely very realistic. I mean, you don't really want to draw like too many. Finally, someone who doesn't play Whiptail. I was getting tired. Like, why were people playing Whiptail in their engine? It's hands down one of the worst. Because Thorblade, I want to say, is by far the best. If you draw too many Zoodiacs, it's not bad because you just trim them and transform them into actual random draws. So obviously Thorblade has to be the best. Rat is a weird one because it's only good if whichever cards you can send kind of have value as your materials, but I guess it allows you to make Megaclops. Is he playing Megaclops? No, he's not, so... Oh, no, sorry. This actually allows you to fuel your graveyard and do stuff for your Tri-Brigade plays, so in a way it makes sense, but yeah. And Ram, I guess it's one of the best ones to have as a material, and obviously if you have Tenki Barrage and you pop Ram, well, it's pretty nice. Well, I mean, it only really works with Rat, but I do feel like Thorblade is by far the best. If I had to play this, like Zoodiac cards in the deck, I feel like it wouldn't not make sense not to play, okay, yeah, I hate a quadruple negation. It would make sense to play 3 Thorblade and just no other Zoodiac monsters. I think it would make sense. It wouldn't be dumb, but yeah, let me know what you think. And he's playing 3 Fractal, 2 Ceres, 2 Kit, and 3 Nerval. I really like this. It looks really clean. The deck is just... The thing is, the Tri-Brigade monsters by design are very good cards. They all have an effect to summon a pretty powerful Link monster, for that matter, from your extra deck directly, just by banishing cards from your graveyard. And then they have other kind of effects, like this would actually search a Tri-Brigade card from your... a Tri-Brigade card or a Tri-Brigade monster, I forgot. From your deck to your hand. This would actually allow you to Foolish. This is an extender, and this, you can just search it with Tenki, and then pitch it, send a Kit, and then send the Nerval, and then you have a Tri-Brigade monster in your hand, and you have already 3 cards in your graveyard. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty good, not gonna lie. Basically, turn 1 board in this deck is going to be Appaloosa, as they're saying right here, Appaloosa with the Ancient Warrior Schwangalong, Double Dragon Oath Lords, so this guy, as well as the Tri-Brigade Revolt. And if I recall correctly, Revolt is actually the trap card that you send with Kit in order to negate a card on the field if you control a Link Beast Warrior or something. I forgot. I might be very wrong. I might be very stupid, and that might not be it. But yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I should have done a bit of research before, but it's okay, it's okay. You're going to correct me if I'm wrong. The comment section is there for a reason. Don't kill me. Anyways, how many hand traps is he playing? 1, 4, 6... 9, 11, that almost, like, sounds average for the OCG. 11 hand traps, yeah. But in the TCG, 11 hand traps is like, bro, you're on crack, my guy. It's 11 hand traps. What's your deck? Yeah, hand traps featuring Tri-Brigade cards, not the other way around. Anyways, 3 Desires, 2 Called by the Grave. Yeah, it feels good, 2 Called by the Grave. I wish we had that. 2 Crossout Designator, Foolish, Duster, Monster Reborn. Yeah, and then 2 of the Revolt. Nah, not bad, not bad. And for the extra deck, only 1 of the package, as well as only 1 Zeus, so, yeah, that's the thing with the Zoodiac cards, huh? I mean, you don't really have the space to play, like, a bunch of them, so as soon as you use, like, 1, the other cards just become, like, unplayable. So, yeah, that just solidifies my argument of playing 3 Thorblade instead. Like, is my reasoning even logical, or... Because the thing is, I feel like I'm the only human on Earth who actually thinks like that, but I really don't feel like I'm in the wrong. I really don't. So, yeah, and, well, this guy's main decking 11 hand traps, proceeds to side like freaking 8 more. 4... 8. Oh, I'm good at RNG. That was a random number. So obviously Driver isn't a hand trap. Pancratops is insanely good. You should always play the card in your side deck. But yeah, I mean, a second Nibiru, 3 Lancia. Lancia is going to always be in everyone's side deck. Skullmeister as well, and then Gamma Driver, Lightning Storm, Tactical Talents, and Imperial Order. By the way, I've noticed a trend where people actually have a tendency to play Lightning Storm over evenly in side decks. So this might be something that you might have to look into. If your deck loses to Lightning Storm but not evenly, what kind of decks would actually not lose? Anyways, maybe play Anti-Spell and Imperial Order instead of Solemn Judgment. Because in case they have 2 Lightning Storm, Solemn Judgment doesn't protect you. If anything, it makes you lose even harder, because you lose 4,000 life points and you still lose your back row, which is pretty pathetic. Whereas, you know, the only benefit that it would have is that it would also be able to negate evenly. However, if you have something like an anti-spell, they have to set their card, and depending on what kind of deck you play, you might be able to handle those back row. For example, if you're playing Altergeist and you resolve anti-spell, and they go like set 3 pass, you can go Meluseek to send one of them, and then the rest you just start going like Hextia, negate, and then they can never really go after your back row are safe, and your opponent just doesn't play through them, because Altergeist has the potential to be filthy on game 2 and 3 if people side deck cards that are just not geared to beat Altergeist. Obviously, it's not great going second, but you can handle it depending on the format. Anyways, this is pure Zoodiac. I feel like this just, on paper, makes more sense than the Tri-Brigade Zoodiac. Tri-Brigade I would play it with Ancient Warrior cards, maybe. I think it makes the most amount of sense, but that's just me. Pure Zoodiac, on the other hand, again, always with the Bunny Blast in the OCG only, but not in the TCG. However, this guy's actually opted to play 11 monsters. Well, 11 Zoodiac monsters. And then 4, 7, 9, 12 hand traps. Main deck, triple strike, and 2 judgments. This is how you do it. You go 3 strike and 2 judgment, and not the other way around. Strike is infinitely better than judgment. It's not even a debate. Actually, no, never mind. Judgment is great when you have stuff to protect, like floodgates, but when there's nothing to protect, and you're just using it as like a more versatile Solemn Warning, it's not that great. Obviously, in a deck like Subterror, Judgment makes all the sense in the world, because if you get even lead, you lose regardless. But in conjunction with like your Fiendus, maybe your Dragoon, there can only be 1 summon limit. Judgment is tier negative 10 billion. Anyways, 1 Maxi, triple Nibiru, triple Ash, double Ghost Bell, obviously Barrage, blah blah, Tenki, Desirous, triple Cyclone, interesting. 1 Monster Reborn, the Saki random 1 of Tactical Talents that isn't searchable, so yeah. And that's it. I mean, it's not really like I could say, oh, wow, Zoodiac is incredibly spicy. And again, this guy's playing 12 hand traps and proceeds to side in freaking 5 more. No, it's not. 6 more. I messed up, man. I messed up. And it's actually hilarious how he's main decking 3 Cyclone, but not actually main decking 1 Duster and 2 Cyclone. Interesting. This guy's really trying to interrupt his opponent on his own turn instead of just blowing up a lot of back row in 1 shot. And again, we're probably talking about Japan, so Macrocosmos never in the main deck, always in the side or in the binder or in your pocket. Yeah. Well, I mean, Denko Seka is always in your pocket if you're in Chile, but it's not the same thing. You know, the thing is, it got errata. You can search it now anytime you want if you're losing, though. Or if you're winning and you're a remote duel champion, but that's another story for another day. Anyways, Nibiru, Lancia, Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre, how good is Ghost Ogre right now? How good is it? Are you really going to hit Tri-Brigade? No, because it doesn't have to be like the zones it points to and stuff. Against Rat, I guess it's good, but that's kind of it. And apart from that, it doesn't really sound too great. Dark Ruler makes so much sense when you have like Zeus access, so I like that. And then yeah, obviously the rest is nice. Anti-Spell, man, Anti-Spell is underappreciated. And would I play Imperial Order in the deck like this? No. Would I play Mistake? Maybe. Red Reboot. Red Reboot also makes sense, but what you have to kind of be afraid of is that since your opponent can actually set a card, you might actually go into Waking the Dragon, and if you Zeus, you might actually kind of cuck yourself, because now you actually have to worry about an Ultimate Falcon, and if I recall correctly, Zoodiac can knock out an Ultimate Falcon without Megaclops, so that's kind of a bummer. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there... No, I don't think there is a monster that is kind of like an Ultimate Falcon-esque effect with over 4,000 attack. The Cyber Dark End Dragon would kind of be one in a way, but not really. And I don't even know if it can be special summoned, or if it has to be like fusion summoned, or like tributing by tributing like Cyber Dark Dragon equipped with Cyber End, blah blah blah. Y'all already know it, but yeah. Anyways, Eldlich, of course, the typical Finally, this is literally the kind of way, the way I would actually play Eldlich for the most part. Obviously, I wouldn't be playing. Well, I mean, maybe I would be playing Judgment, obviously, but I would definitely try to fit in Solemn Strike, and I feel like not playing any normal summon, but playing Pancratops instead makes so much sense. Reasoning, on the other hand, is very risky. Like, you might think that it's broken, but it's randomly so much riskier than you think, because if you mail too much, you actually lose the game. It's not really like you could say, oh yeah, but it's exactly like Inferno. It's if you mail a lot, you win, because in Eldlich, there's no recycling from your graveyard or your banished to your hand or your deck. There's none of that. You can only use your resources from your grave to fetch you more from your deck. But let's just say if you mill 3 Scarlet, okay, yeah, I mean, I guess he's playing 2 White Fade and 1 Black Awakening, so it kinda makes sense to a certain extent. But if you mill like too many cards, like 3 Conquistador, for example, you have less options. Of course, he's playing Wakanda Forever. So again, I feel like almost everything that I'm saying is just always counter-argued by his deck-building choices, but mechanically speaking, reasoning also comes with a bunch of flaws that you have to be seriously aware of, otherwise you might actually just fall into the trap of playing this card not knowing what it's actually going to how it's actually going to impact you and then just get severely punished. But yeah, I really like the fact that he's playing Wakanda. And is he playing Kree Bandit in the side deck? No, I would actually be siding 3 Kree Bandit in case I go first. So I can actually just mill 4 cards and add one of them to my hand. And I mean, yeah, the card's just really unfair. I mean, if you mill like Scarlet, you can use it right away. And then obviously same thing with Conquistador and Haquero. As a matter of fact, I actually also played Guardian of the Golden Lord whatever, but I actually started cutting the card because the format was getting to a point where you had to interrupt your opponent. You actually couldn't just go for consistency and resources anymore. It didn't really work like that, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, now the really cool part. This guy is actually siding in the Super Poly, but do you have to draw the Super Poly? Or, yeah, the thing is, it would have been nice if he actually played the Dragma Punishment, because when you play Super Poly alongside Dragma Punishment, one really gorgeous thing that you can do is actually send Chimera Arflesia, the Predaplant monster, and during the next draw, standby phase, right? It searches a card that has like Fusion or Polymerization in its card name, so you can search Super Poly. I'm pretty sure. I know you can search Red Ice Fusion, but you should be able to also search Super Poly. And then obviously with this amount of targets at your disposal, you should be gooch. And the fact that he's playing Toad with yeah, Opabinia is actually just adorable because of Dinomischus and Canadia. What they're saying right there is that they actually have a pretty good matchup, as well as Torrential Tribute against the Tri-Brigade deck. I mean, you know, when you see that, they don't really have too many ways of dealing with back row, honestly. It's pretty hard, and especially if the back row are like proactive spot removal, and you start banishing cards, like Nerval won't float, and it won't have the effect of Special Summon, so that's already kind of hard for them. And obviously, Canadia is also pretty good. It's good against Zoodiac. It's kind of just a turn skipper. They don't really play extenders. They only, yeah, I mean, Barrage is like the only one. And apart from that, it's just normal Summon City, and then hate my opponent cards. That's it, but yeah. I mean, ironically, this on paper looks like it has a terrible trap matchup, but it ends up being better than you think. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the main deck of Eldlich. Again, it feels really good to be able to play Imperial Order and Triple Skill Drain. I see, well, you mean, you can always play Imperial Order, but yeah. And in the side deck, Dimensional Barrier, Evenly. Wow, this guy's like the only one to play Evenly and not Lightning Storm, you see? Everyone's playing Lightning Storm, but this guy is actually breaking the curse, or the cycle. And then Anti-Spell, again, Anti-Spell is everywhere. Anti-Spell's amazing. Yeah, it's such a good card. And then the rest, one random Lava Golem, what? Am I missing something? Yeah, I mean, this actually, you kind of skip it with reasoning, so I guess there's a good reasoning behind playing him. Yeah, that was really bad. Anyways, moving forward, the value, hold on a sec, hold on. What was the plug? Akira, yo, my guy, Akira, if you're a guy, huge shoutouts to you. Always the best freaking insightful articles right there. Packed with information, really relevant, absolutely gorgeous, but yeah. VFD as their, Virtual World as they're saying. They actually lost one copy of VFD, so people originally tried to use number 75 Bamboozling as kind of like the replacement, because if you want your VFD to be secured, you either go for a second VFD, you go like the first one, and then you call light, so they can't Nibiru, and then you make the second one, so regardless of what they have, you kind of just counter them. Or what actually happens, what you could do, is actually make Bamboozling to negate the Nibiru and then hard make one VFD. But the thing is, Bamboozling doesn't actually negate and destroy. It says negate and then replace the effect by both players draw one card. And this is worse than you think, because Against a card like Nibiru, they would actually keep the Nibiru in the hand and then next turn they could just use it. Or even worse, is actually ciphering Gamma. And that is disastrous because Gamma is not once per turn. So imagine, they're actually keeping the Gamma when you're trying to like Gamma like them on something, I don't know, just like a Lao Lao for example. And then Bamboozling loses its effect, you draw one card, it could be another hand trap for all you know. And then if they try to use VFD next turn, you can Gamma and there's nothing that can protect a VFD from Gamma. You can't even go Chooch Pop yourself. It's not like infinite impermanence, you know what I'm saying? So Gamma is actually very devastating against the deck, and that's the reason why it's a pretty good trend. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I guess this guy was playing it, but the other ones, I guess their deck list didn't really have it, but yeah. People are experimenting with Ultimayat Zulkin and Crystalling because that is one way you can actually play through Nibiru, or I guess around it, because you're summoning Crystal Wing on summon number 5, and then you're proceeding to make VFD. So I think this actually makes much more sense than playing Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, in my opinion. So yeah. Anyways, moving forward, what is the deck list actually looking like? Sorry, there's no Tutu, and he's only playing 2 Nyan Nyan, so that's one less virtual world monster than average. And then apart from that, nothing noteworthy at all. How many hand traps was that? Only 5. That's crazy because, well, I mean, only 5. That's 5 more than me. I play like 0 hand traps in my deck, and proceeding to side in more. Now, I actually have Cancer every time I see, like, the 3rd Maxi in the side deck, and only, like, 2 Gamma for 1 Driver. Like, at this point, just play 1 Gamma and 3 Drivers. At least Gamma is never gonna be a brick at this point. Driver, maybe. But yeah, and then 3 Lightning Storm, Duster, Reboot, blah, blah, blah. Again, I really feel like I proved my argument with Lightning Storm being just overall represented in more decks than in more side decks, sorry, than Evenly, because Evenly was just 1 out of 4, whereas Lightning Storm, at least as a one of, was in 3 decks. So in conclusion, yeah, I mean, hand traps are just, I guess, still as good as ever in a way, and yeah, you should not be scared of a virtual world as much as they used to be, but I think it's just a matter of time before people start adapting their playstyle to, you know, a situation where they won't really have to be too afraid of Nibiru because they would actually know perfectly what to do against it. And remember that Shen control with Chuche is still very respectable. Don't laugh at that, man. There has been a lot of games that were won literally just because of that. But anyways, that's it for this OCG metagame breakdown number 0, man. I hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two and also enjoy, most importantly. And if you did, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe, because if you do, I'm gonna love you forever. I mean, I always love you. I already love you, but I'll love you even more. And that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Peace!